Today, we're testing wine versus mead. Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Derica, and you're watching City Steading Brews. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button.
And hit that little bell notification because I've been told that it sometimes works too. Today, we're doing mead versus wine. Kind of a generalized idea, but what we're doing is we're taking the same basic must and sweetening one with sugar and the other one with honey, and we're fermenting them as equally as possible to see what the outcome is. So what we're going to be using for our base is this Vintner's Best elderberry concentrate. Now, this has something in it that I don't like, but it's not in all of their stuff, it's just in this one. We don't really know why. And if you're wondering if you're having a deja vu moment because you've seen this video once before, you're right. We did do this once before, but we had a problem with one of the brews, so we felt that the results were now very flawed, so we decided let's do it all over again. And what I'm going to be doing is making two 1-gallon batches. Last time we did two half-gallon batches, and I just felt like there's too much room for error with the half-gallon. It's just not precise enough. So we're going to do two 1-gallon also because we know it was good, so we're going to keep it. So what we're going to do is a little bit different methodology, but same end result. Okay, so now that I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of carboys and stuff, what I'm going to actually do first is measure out the elderberry concentrate. Now this stuff is designed, this entire gallon is made to make 5 gallons of wine. At a very low gravity, I don't understand, 1077 starting gravity. That's like a 10% wine at most. That's a little on the weak side for me. But I also have something else because I'm making a mead. That means I need at least 50% of my fermentables to be honey. I don't want to use less than 2 pounds of honey, so I'm already at 1070, which means I need this stuff to come out at less than 1070. You see the math that I end up having to do here, right? Oh, you know what we forgot to do?
Hydrate our yeast.
Hydrate the yeast. We need a jingle for that. Well, Turbos has his own. By the way, everything's been sanitized in
The red bucket of sanitization!
Now, for those of you new to the show, or even old to the show, you've probably seen these things before. They are self-stirring cups. They're actually from a blender thing, but they have ribs inside. I love them. I am using today Lalvin D47 yeast. Why am I using that? Because I have lots of it. And what I'm going to do is, this is probably the most unscientific part of the show here today, but it doesn't actually matter. I'm going to use about half a packet of this yeast in each of these. About half a packet. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I didn't quite get half in the second one. I'm going to do that. Just because somebody's going to say, but you didn't put the same amount of yeast in. Guess what? It doesn't actually matter. The amount of yeast that you put in only will affect the rate at which it starts. It won't actually affect where it ends up. That's roughly the same. So now I just made it harder for myself. It's all sticking to the side. But I'm just going to put a little water in each of these just to hydrate this yeast. This is not anything super... Can you try to get that? This is not anything super fantastic. This is just hydrating the yeast, literally. Just waking it up, essentially, okay? It's not a starter or anything like that, so don't get too crazy. Okay, so we have our two hydrated yeasts. It doesn't matter which is which. I'm just going to set these over to the side, let them do a little wake up. They'll probably get a little bit frothy, that kind of thing. Another reason why I had to be careful of our gravity is because I'm going to be using D47, which is good for about 14, maybe 15%. I don't want it to be like a 19% potential and then stop at 14 and be all sickly sweet. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So I want this to be more dry than sweet. I'm looking for maybe like a 10-10, 10-20 final gravity. If you don't know what that means, we have other videos that can help explain. But keep listening because I tend to talk a lot and some of it'll come out in the wash. Anyway, so what I want to do is measure out the exact amount of this concentrate that I need. Now remember what I said before. If I do it the way they say, that's 1077 gravity, which is 1.077. That'd be too high because that would now be higher than our honey. So I actually figured out that about a 1 to 8 dilution rate did the right thing. Got me to like a 1054, which is really close to like fruit juices off the shelf, that kind of thing. So it's going to be very similar to making a melomel using fruit juice and honey. Okay, with me so far? However, my Pyrex does not have a line for 15 ounces. It has a line for 16 ounces and 14 ounces. I know I could just go in the middle and eyeball that, but you know what? Instead, I'm just going to go on the low side of that and just use 14 ounces instead of the 15 that I actually need for the 1:8 ratio. Still with me? All right, right to the line. We have exactly 14 ounces. Goes into container A. Not sure which one this is going to be yet. You'll probably learn when I do. In an effort to not bore you to death with this video, I'm going to let this drain a little bit, but you don't have to watch. On to number 2. Again, 14 ounces. All right, and into jug number 2. Okay, so now we have 2 fermenters, equal in dignity with our concentrate, our syrup, if you will. We have our juice essentially in here. Now we need to put in our fermentables, our sugars. Let's make this one wine. So what I'm going to do is use this funnel, put it in there. Make sure your funnel's dry. Don't try to put sugar in using a wet funnel. And I have a conundrum. There's just no way I'm going to be able to pour this into that little funnel. So I'm just going to use a ladle, and it's going to make it really boring for you guys. So we're just going to edit right here. All right, so I got all the sugar in here eventually. And now, yeah, see, there's still some in there. And so now I'm going to put this to the side, right over, yeah, right there is good. Derek even made a label. See, it's wine. Now we're going to do the Mead one, which this one's a little bit different because I have a package of honey here that I'm pretty sure has more than 2 pounds, but less than 3 pounds. So I'm gonna weigh that into the bottle. And so many people have given me constructive criticism and advice on how to do this that I'm gonna do it the way they suggested, which is actually a good way. I'm not really complaining. Just I didn't do it that way before. Put it on the scale, tear it out, put a funnel in.
So you need to tear it out again when the funnel's in?
Yep. Tear it out again because the funnel's in. Then get honey. Now, notice how loose that is? It's because it's been sitting in turbos in warm water. Somebody asked the other day how I get it to do that. All I did is put it in warm water. Okay, I didn't boil this or anything. Somebody was concerned about the plastic. I don't think it's past 110 degrees in there. It's just loosening it up a little bit. I'm not heating that honey or damaging it in any way. So we want 2 pounds. Since watching honey pour is about as exciting as watching paint dry, be back when we're done. All right, so we got our 2 pounds of honey. I was starting to wonder if there was 2 pounds in there anymore. And to get the rest of the honey that's in the funnel out, I'm just gonna pour more water in. And before you start thinking that I'm messing it up, we have to put water in both of these anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And that's actually the next step. All I'm gonna do now is put in some water and I'm gonna mix this up. It's a lot easier to oxygenate and mix when it's not totally full than when it's full. So I'm just gonna set that in there and I'm gonna pour some in here too. Might not look real good on camera, but you get the idea. Stopper in the jug, thumb over the hole. Someone asked, putting my finger there, did I not risk a sanitation problem? First, my hands are clean. Second, you see that little dot? That's all it is. I don't think that's a problem. I'm gonna shake the bejesus out of it. So what I'm doing when I look at the bottom there is I'm trying to make sure that all that honey got absorbed. So I'm shaking it up. Now also, as we've said a million times, when you're starting out a new fermentation, you want to get oxygen in there. Once it's been going, you want to prevent oxygen from getting in. That's the two things you want to keep in mind. So right now, we want to get oxygen in here. That's why I'm stopping, giving it a good shake. I think we have dissolved all of the honey, and there is no more bejesus left in here. Now, I'll put that over there, and do the same for this one. Now that was the honey, this is the sugar. And what's really interesting, so we don't cross-contaminate. Do it again. I just touched the towel. You see how careful we are, though? Really? All right. And the stopper. Now this one's the sugar, so this is going to be a lot easier to know. Look at that. Big old clump of sugar in there. What's interesting to me is the color different. Oh, nope, the color's not different already. Once you get a little oxygen into this, it actually changes color. It got much more lighter. Much more lighter. Yeah, I could speak good English. It got lighter in color. It's a really good workout. For some reason, brewing and working out just don't seem to go together. And I'm just gonna fill them pretty full. Not totally full yet, because we do still have some yeast to pitch in here. So, we've got a lot of foam. So yeah, I got about as much water in there as I want to put in for the moment. Now let me fill up the other one again. And then we're going to pitch our yeast. And people are always asking about that. They say, why do you pitch your yeast, then take a reading? Shouldn't you take a reading, then pitch yeast? Well, see, here's why. Sometimes people will pitch yeast, wait 3 days, then take a reading. That would be a problem. That's not good. If you pitch your yeast and take a reading right away, the yeast has not done anything, so nothing has changed, okay? It could not possibly have changed any of your gravity in the few seconds that it takes. But if you don't put it in first, do you see what we have it in? It's in water. If I put that in after taking a reading, it changes the reading. So we like to have it all completely set. Now some people just sprinkle the yeast right in. If you do that, it doesn't matter either way. You're not changing the gravity. So not really a worry. But what I want to do now is pour these yeasts in. And I'm doing it this way so that we can rinse out the funnel with some more water as we put this stuff in. And I just go like this, just a little bit more water. I don't want to overfill this, but I am going to fill them both to as close to the same level as I can get. Okay, we're going to eyeball it a little bit, but it's going to be darn close. And I don't want to go any higher than this because, as I said before, there's an ingredient in this concentrate that I'm not a big fan of, but it's probably going to make for an active fermentation. It's called diammonium phosphate. It's not really one of my favorite ingredients in things, and it's in there. Had I known it was in there, I probably would not have bought that particular elderberry concentrate. But I did, and I'm not going to waste it, so we're using it up. This tastes really good. Foam levels aside, they are now equal in dignity. That can go in the sanitizer. This was the wine, that was the mead?
Yeah, that's wine, this is mead.
I'm going to put the wine stopper in the wine. Give this a little shake. Make sure that nothing settled. And it did. We have sugar in the bottom. See, you want to be careful on that because it'll throw off your initial reading. It will eventually ferment through, but I want to make sure that I got it all in there. Okay, now on to the mead. Make sure there's no, there's a little bit. I'll just give this a good shake too. No harm. We're going to take readings on both, and I'm going to clean this stuff up in between. I'm aiming for roughly like a 1.120 gravity. Somewhere in there is probably fine. I actually want them to be close to the same thing, if at all possible, more so than be accurate to my 1.120. Not bad. 1.120 on the nose. That's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted. So there we go. Yay, I got my way. Okay. At this point, some people will throw this away. To me, that is 84 milliliters of wort. We want oxygen in our must. I sanitized everything. This is all clean. Why throw it away? There's absolutely no reason. I cannot for the life of me understand why people do that. If somebody really knows a good reason, tell me in the comments. I'm happy to listen, and hey, you know what? I'll admit I'm wrong and change my ways if I'm really doing it the wrong way. But in that case, I don't understand how.
Do you want to write the OG on there?
I'm going to write the OG on here. And I'm going to take the stopper, put it in. We'll put the airlock in a minute. Now we move on to the mead. I'm going to go with 1.124. So it's got just 4 points more. We're not talking a huge amount here. That maybe half to 3/4 of an ABV difference, percentage-wise. Not really a problem. Close enough for what we're trying to do. And again, like I said before, I don't see the point in wasting this stuff, so I'm going to pour it right back in. Stopper goes in. And at this point, all that's left to do is put airlocks on these and let them sit for, I'm probably going to go 2 to 4 weeks. Regardless of what it's going to be doing or what it looks like, I'm going to let them go 2 to 4 weeks. You can let them sit for months in primary. I don't want to make you guys wait quite that long, and I'm kind of curious to see after, like, say 3 to 4 weeks, what do these actually taste like? Are they good at that point? You know, do they need more time? Do they need to be aged longer? Now, people are always going to say that mead definitely needs longer. Not always true. I've actually made meads that were really good in 4 to 6 weeks. So these are going to go onto the desk of fermentation for a few weeks, and we'll be back with some results and tasting and initial racking at that time. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.
Remember, if you want to help the channel, hit a like on this video, leave a comment, and join us on either Patreon or Subscribestar. Bye-bye.